Is there anything else we need to say first before we get Julie up here?
I don't know. Other than Julie's just absolutely amazing. And she's such a good friend of ours, and we're so fortunate too to have her with us.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Hey friends, how are you?
Good. Was it an easy, chill night for you, or was it a little crazy? Because like Darren got here and he had just gotten off the plane and gotten settled in just
Darren
in time.
is always just getting off a plane.
I know.
This is it is busy time for me because in addition to my speaking and training, I am a professor at Appalachian State and it is the end of spring semester and the doctoral students are getting ready to be hooded and the master's students are finishing their portfolios and all the things are happening and it's so fun. But yeah, it's busy, but never too busy to spend some time with the two of you.
It's so sweet. I don't think we did this late last spring.
I think it may have been a little earlier. I don't remember it being quite as well. It's always busy, but
Is it
yeah.
Julie's
Yeah,
bedtime? Is that what we're getting at?
I put on the soft pants early, Josh.
that's awesome. That's
Can I
great.
just say that it was a joy to be around you, Julie, at North Carolina, the NCMLE
Oh
conference.
man, right back at you. I think almost fell asleep there about this time of day, Josh. Like we're we
We
think
did a lot of
early.
peopling. We did a lot
We
of
did, it
peopling
was
and
super
we were
peoply.
speaking. Yeah, we had a lot on us. So we
Yeah,
deserved a nap, unfortunately.
it's true.
Julie,
And we ate a lot and therefore
we
we
did.
didn't have.
You're sharing secrets now. I'm going to highlight you in just a little bit, share a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to dive in. So, Julie, you're a resilience researcher. You're a trainer. You just said you're a professor, and you're also author, speaker. I mean, you're kind of again, a person that does so many different things in the world of education, TEDx speaker. And we're super excited to have you here because I know you have a ton of practical strategies. And we also have a giveaway, you have a freebie. So there's a lot of things going on in these 30 minutes. So with that, I'm going to throw it to Charlie because Charlie wants to ask you the first question.
I do, because we need to know from you. All right. So, how can educators impact students' lives and still have a life? Is that possible? I
It
know
is.
that you're an expert on this.
I mean, it's so possible, but it takes some intention. It takes thinking about the boundaries we need to set so that we can love our people and still love ourselves. It takes building proactively some healthy habits that help us sustain in the work and also using those tools that all three of us, Charlie, Josh, and I, talk about that help us reset when the stress starts to build up and things get a little busy, crazy, and challenging.
Right. Well, and what I love too, this I might be getting ahead of myself, but what I love is what you do on social media. You share something intentionally with everybody. Can you tell people about that? Because they're just so easy to
Oh,
to just
I'm,
listen to.
I was afraid you would ask me that because I've slipped a little this week
I didn't
because it's
notice.
been a busy
I
week.
didn't
Okay,
notice.
good, good. But
Didn't even notice.
this year, as we moved into 2026, I had a busy, hard end of 2025. I think many of us did. And I decided instead of setting a big goal for the new year, I was just going to do a small intention every day and try to focus on something that would make me a little better, a little more centered, a little more present every day. So I've been doing that. It's been so fun, Charlie. And I know we've connected about that on social media. But it's just like little things and it's fun to have people come in and comment that they're trying some of those things too, or that it made them think about something differently. I love setting an intention for the day, setting an intention for our work. I know we're going to talk about the giveaway in a little while, that 10-minute pause journal. And part of that is a little bit of morning journaling where we set an intention for the day because then we can determine success for ourselves. I have this friend, Jay, who is the most amazing middle school math teacher. And, Jay sets the same intention every day to help kids be more confident in math. And then he watches for evidence of that throughout the day. So it's not like test scores or evaluations or any of that that determines success for Jay. It's just those little signs that kids are getting more confident in math. So think about what intentions you could set for the day. How could you determine success for yourself? What would that look like for you?
Love it. That's great. And so, okay. So you've got the teacher recharge project. This is a great project. You've got the little things that you share every day that I just shared, by the way, in the chat. You guys can go
Oh,
follow. That's Instagram. I
thanks,
think you,
Charlie.
right.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. But the teacher recharge project, you need to tell people about that.
I've been doing so when I started out as a professor and researcher, that was 2015. And I had to come up with a research focus. Like, what question was going to drive my work? Because it was teaching grad students, but also doing research. And at that time, my beloved first grade teacher, Nancy Russell, had just retired. And all I wanted to know was, what do teachers like Mrs. Russell do that make this lasting impact on our lives? Like, why do we remember? I remember her classroom from first grade. Why do I remember Mrs. Russell so clearly? I set out to design that study. I'm a qualitative researcher. And at first, I talked to teachers about their impact. Not a good design, because we don't know unless a student reaches back out to us, unless they come visit us and tell us what they remember. It's hard for us to know our impact. We know what we hope it is, but we may not really know. So I needed to talk to former students, people who had been in K-12 classrooms. They're easy to find. They're everywhere. This summit is full of them. I had a sign made at Office Depot that said, "Let's chat about a teacher you remember." And I would take that sign and sit at craft fairs in public parks, flea markets, university campuses, and just talk to people about teachers, and ended up with 600 plus stories about teacher impact. And teacher impact was my focus as a researcher for a while, maybe 5 years. And then right before COVID, I started to talk to more and more teachers who were leaving the profession, or who were really feeling some signs and symptoms of burnout. And I shifted a bit from teacher impact to sustainable impact. How do we continue making an impact without losing ourselves along the way? And after, it's been almost 6 years now of that research, we have a framework, the Teacher Recharge Framework, with components that help us teach and train about recharge. We've got tools and resources. We've got a new plug program. So really, that project came out of first looking at teacher impact and then thinking about how we sustain that impact.
Yeah, and people are going to want a strategy. They want a part of that framework. So what is one thing you can give them right now to do
Okay.
immediately?
You know, I love all the tools and strategies. There are 3 that are my favorite, but I'll give you the top one this year. This is the one, every time we do a training, someone will email me later and say, "I use this crazy tool and it works." We call it the camera. Dr. Amit Sood from the Mayo Clinic is the one who taught it to me. He calls it Zyzo, which means zoom in, zoom out. So if we think of our minds like a camera, we can zoom in tight to the right here, right now, what's right in front of us, or we can zoom out to a broader picture. When I am feeling super overwhelmed, the to-do list is really long, there's a lot going on, I zoom in tight. What's right in front of me, what's the next thing, what's right here, what's right now, and then I feel less stressed and overwhelmed. If what's right in front of me, right here, right now, is frustrating, if I'm in a conversation that's hard, if there's some conflicts, if I'm in one of those really contentious meetings, whatever it may be, if right now is stressful, then I can zoom out. My whole school, my whole community, my whole world, I can zoom out next week. Will it matter next month? Will it matter next year? So the camera, the zoom in, zoom out, has probably been the tool that we've gotten the most feedback about this year. It sounds kind of strange, but try it. It really does work when you intentionally choose your perspective.
I am going to use that in therapeutic practice. I
Yes,
just worked with
yes.
somebody today and needed a tool like that. So that is something that we just have to learn to be more present and then have perspective. And that does both of those things, that zoom in, zoom out.
Right. I mean, that presence and intentionally using those tools, Charlie, I know you teach that all the time. It's
Yeah.
so important. And practicing it when we're not totally stressed out. Because it's hard to implement when we're like at that stage where we're really struggling. But if you practice it when you're doing okay throughout the day, then you can pull it out and use it when you really need it.
Right. And that's what we need. We need something that is so easy to remember and do that we'll do it. So that's
Yes.
awesome. So I know you have other go-to practices for keeping your educator battery charged. That's really what it's about. That's what you initially said. How do we stay charged? So what are
Yeah.
some go-to practices?
I think like first, like all you and Josh, we all talk about this. It has to start with self-awareness. And so sometimes it's just doing a little check how much charge is on my battery, because then I can manage that energy and I can adjust. And if it's like not even quite lunchtime yet and I'm at about 8%, then I have to make some changes. It may be that I just need a little movement to release some stress, to recharge. Often with me, I just need some hydration. Like I need some water. Josh knows sometimes I hit the Diet Coke real hard. And I just need some real hydration, like a little bit of a nice slow, like savor that glass of water will help me recharge. If you can get outside, get a little fresh air, if you can have a conversation with a friend. I love to help teachers create a menu of things that charge their battery that are quick, easy resets they can do when they feel like they're low. And I think we have to develop this as school communities, common language about our batteries, check in with each other. Hey, how much charge do you have? Do you need to step out for a minute? Do you need some support? What can I do to help you? And talk about the challenges and the struggles and just support each other in managing that teacher energy.
Okay, so go ahead, Josh, because I know you have a good question
Josh is
about this.
about the Diet Coke.
Well, I have no judgment, and I'm not going to throw Julie under the bus with the Diet Coke, but
That's
I want
hilarious.
to I want to talk about boundaries real quick. Boundaries with soda, maybe, or boundaries just in general as far as
Just
protecting your energy.
so many important places to create some boundaries in our teacher lives, Josh. Yeah.
Maybe right now with Josh
Right
mentioning.
now with Josh, setting a boundary.
But let's talk about boundaries, Julie, because you do talk
Mhm.
about this in your keynote. You do a beautiful job, one with
Thank
the
you.
battery, but then also with protecting yourself, right? And I think
Right.
teachers, unfortunately, don't do a great job. They protect their kids, right? They
Hmm.
protect the classroom environment, but then when it's about themselves, sometimes those boundaries don't exist. And so we just talk about that as far as, what they can do to protect them from that battery getting drained.
Yeah. And boundaries are so important because it's the way, and I wish I could remember who said this quote. You guys may know, the way I love myself and others at the same time. Because what boundaries do is not just protect our energy, but keep us from feeling resentful when we say yes to too many things, when we take on too many things, when we don't say what we need to say. So I think we can't underestimate the importance of boundaries. We can set them in different ways. We can set boundaries around our time. For example, I tell my grad students I don't check email on Sunday. Like I try to be totally disconnected on Sunday. And they're good with that because I communicate that boundary clearly. They know they can email me on Sunday, but I'm not going to reply till Monday because boundaries are about our behavior and what we do. And so we just communicate how we're going to behave and what kind of actions we're going to take and where we're going to draw the line. We can set boundaries around conversations. What kinds of things are we comfortable talking about or not? I can remember being a teacher and going into the teacher's lounge and saying, "Hey guys, like I really need some good news and I just don't want to complain about students right now. Like can we just not can we not do that at lunch right now? If we need to talk about our struggles, let's do that later, but for right now, like let's just share some good news." We can set boundaries. I do this with sometimes with my family. Hey guys, we're going to have dinner together. Let's not talk about politics. So time boundaries, conversation boundaries. I love a end of the day ritual where I set that boundary for myself. These are the three things I do when I leave my office space and come home, and I know that signals to my mind that I'm leaving work behind and now I'm going into my personal life. Kind of like Mr. Rogers when he would put on the cardigan and the tennis shoes, just those little signals that tell us, okay, now this is the line. I'm leaving work me behind and I'm moving into my personal life. We could talk boundaries, guys, for like hours and hours, couldn't we?
We can. I mean, we really, it's so important because it teaches the nervous system to calm down once it's established. But do you ever have pushback from people when you talk about boundaries and then they don't actually stay within your boundaries? How do you handle that?
I think it's just that clear communication and like respecting ourselves enough to hold our boundaries. The thing I feel teachers struggling with, and I know I hear this when I do trainings, is feeling comfortable saying no. Because as teachers, we want to be helpers, we want to be supporters, we want to do all the things, make our schools better places. But knowing that we don't have the capacity to do all of that is important. So sometimes in training, we just teach some great ways to say no. That's an amazing idea. I'd love to help you, but I just don't have the capacity right now. Great way to say no. Charlie, what's your favorite way to say no?
It is to be firm but fair. And then I say it and I repeat it, but I always say low and slow and just repeat it with
Mm,
the same consistent voice.
love that.
Yes, because people do push back, especially if you're someone who doesn't hold your own boundary and you start
Mm,
to. Don't you find that? I know you do really well with this. And you start actually holding your boundary and they'll
yeah.
test you and there's going to be conflict often. So I just repeat it and then I step away so I don't have to keep repeating.
Yeah.
But we need to teach
Perfect.
their nervous system, like you're saying about
Yeah.
that charge. It really is a charge within us, isn't it?
It's managing our energy. So much of teaching and leading are inside jobs. I know we focus on the actions and the interactions, but so much of it is just managing what's happening inside of us. And you're right, holding those boundaries, respecting ourselves enough to hold those boundaries so that we can take care of us is an important part of teaching and leading.
Yeah, well, you work with leaders. You work with people who are going to even be bigger leaders in their districts, like superintendents or
Right.
district leads, right? Principals. But so it's a really important job that they learn how to use those boundaries, but in a way that they still feel like they're fulfilling their role.
Yes.
That's pretty tricky, I would imagine. What do you think about that?
I totally agree. I was working with my grad students who are all about to get their principal licensure and start interviewing for principal jobs. And one of the things we just talked about is this tool we call the bubble. And we know we can't go out and who is it? Is it our friend Frederick Buskey who talks about taking on everybody else's monkeys? So we know we can't take on everybody else's problem. And my students were getting pretty good about that, but we found they were absorbing all the energy. So it wasn't that they were trying to solve all the problems, but in talking to so many people throughout the day who were struggling with different things and who had all this big emotion and energy, they were absorbing it. And at the end of the day, totally exhausted. So we're practicing this imagining a clear bubble around ourselves so we can still listen, we can express care and concern, we can validate all those feelings, but we don't have to absorb them. I know you teach so many strategies to help people not have that emotional exhaustion from absorbing everybody else's energy at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's important. I actually reference your book quite a bit too, your pause, ponder, and persist. I do that all the time, as you know. So if you guys are listening here and you want something so simple, and I know you've got your teacher recharge project, you've got all of that stuff. This is all based on the evidence you collected and you teach this, but with so many other practical resources. So let's kind of round this out with routines because
Yeah.
if we can adhere to routines, it helps us stay within the guardrails of that recharge. So, can you talk about that?
It does. I think having a morning routine is really helpful. It cuts down the decision making you have to do in the morning. It helps you start the day with intention. I really limit phone use, checking my phone, doing anything with the phone for a while in the morning. Um, Find what works for you. I know we say this over and over again, a little bit of quiet meditation in the morning, a cup of tea if that works for you. I love morning journaling. Just thinking about the day ahead, setting an intention for the day, and doing a bit of journaling about that really helps me. Morning routines are great. I love the sort of check in throughout the day. That's great for managing our battery. We call it take a beat. We just pause for a minute, check in with our body, our emotions, our attention, how what we're thinking about. in the middle of the day. So if you can stop, take a pause, take a breath, take a beat, and check in that way, that's an important routine throughout the day because it tells you when you need to do some resets. And then having that end of the day ritual where you can leave work behind and go into your personal life.
Yeah. The journal actually that you mentioned is free for everybody, by the
Yes.
way. Did you guys okay, listen, if you all are doing something else right now, stop what you're doing, pause and come to us.
And
Look in the
ponder.
chat because right, pause. And you don't have too much thinking to do right now because in the chat, it's the 10-minute pause journal. This is a whole thing. This is a whole thing you're giving them.
It's my favorite morning and evening journaling prompts,
I
all in the
know.
PDF, all done, ready for you.
Yeah, it's all done. It's a 90-day journal. Seriously, you guys, you need to scoop that up. And the way I like that, we kind of have this on the website, but it's prompts for a peaceful and productive 10-minute pause in the morning and 10-minute pause in the evening. I mean, who doesn't want to start their day with that? And it's all done for you. You all need to get that and share it with others who need it too, because you know that there are. You know that there
Oh,
are.
thanks, Charlie.
Yes. Yes. Can you tell people what else to expect in there? Like give us a little taste of it?
Yeah, I mean, it really is it's the journal prompts that I use in the morning. So I set an intention for the day. I think about my vision for the day in the morning. And then in the evening, it's just a reflection on the day. And I start with small wins because at the end of the day, it's easy to ruminate and beat ourselves up. But there's always something that went well and went right today that we can celebrate a little bit. And then we can think about what challenged us in the day. When did we maybe not stay aligned with our intention and we can do a little better tomorrow? That's the whole point of an end of the day reflection. Yeah,
I
so
love it.
that journal is just the prompts I use. It's just 10 minutes in the morning because we don't have more time than that as educators, and then a quick 10 minutes in the evening just to wrap the day up and go to bed with some peace. And for goodness sakes, like sleep through the night, educator friends.
Yes.
It's super
Sleep will help you
important.
recharge. Oh my
Sleep is so
goodness.
important.
But people are struggling. So this is a good release. And I'll often when I work with people who have anxiety, which is most of the work that I do therapeutically, is to help them unload whatever is in their mind at the end of the night and put it from your brain to paper. It really does help to
Yes,
do that.
it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like dump those things out of your head. Hmm.
Yes. So I am truly grateful that you are providing that for everybody. And
Aw,
you have another giveaway. Can you
I
explain what your giveaway is?
do. So, Charlie, you're so sweet and mentioned the book, The Pause, Ponder, and Persist in the Classroom book. We've got 5 copies. What do you think, Charlie, if they email
Yeah.
you one way they keep their educator battery charged,
Yes.
then you will choose and I will get in contact with them and they can get their copy in their mailbox of
Yes.
Pause, Ponder, and Persist. Yes.
Yes. So I'm putting that free resource there. And then I'm putting my email again. How do you recharge your battery, you all?
Yeah.
Email
Just
that
one
to me.
way.
Yes. And the first 5 people that get to us with that, we're going to have Julie send you her book. It is great. And then you'll have the journal to go
Mhm.
with it. So not only will you be able to use it professionally, you'll be able to have that personal journal. So that's fantastic. Julie, what are you working on? Tell everybody what the work that you're doing and something you're working on for over the next 6 months or so.
We just released not too long ago on the Teacher Recharge website, but this is our big project, something called the School Recharge Plug Program. And I know we've been talking about individual recharge, which is important because so much of resilience is about individual practices. But we also exist in these school communities, and having a resilient community helps us as individuals stay engaged and energized in the work. So, this program is for whole school communities to have a common language about managing their educator energy, supporting each other in that. It is an online set of tools, but with some coaching support from our team. We've got some schools already ready to launch it in the next school year. So if that's something that your school community is interested in, reach out to me through teacherrecharge.com. But that's our big project for now.
Exciting. There's so much, oh my gosh, there's so much value in that. So I'm grateful. Josh, is there anything else you want to kick over to Julie before she jumps off here?
I don't know. I think she's just amazing. I think when she started talking about routines, my dog heard. because she wanted her
She needed to
routine to
go
happen
get
go
some fresh
right now.
air.
So
Yeah.
I apologize. I threw that in the chat for everyone to read, but that was actually meant for Charlie. So I'm out of my
Well,
routine.
I wanted people to know that it was the dog and that he wasn't sick of listening to Julie.
Not at
No,
all. Not
I
at
knew that
all.
would.
Josh and I, we talk about all kinds of things. So I wouldn't have blamed him for that. But the
Well,
dog
I
needed a little fresh air and some recharge.
I may give Julie a bad time too, so that probably isn't far off in the chat. So yeah, no, my dog's name is Pudge, and she is a French bulldog, and
Pudge.
she's a lot. She's extra.
I
Well,
mean,
so
nothing is more recharging than a little furry friend, right? Like,
I
She is.
know.
She's
just
my little
helps
shadow
us.
for sure.
I
Yes.
know. And sometimes when we're recording our podcast, you hear her snoring in the background. It is so sweet. It's funny. I love it. Love it. Well,
Oh,
thank you, Julie.
Pudge.
Thank you all so much. You guys don't forget to email me with that recharge that you do, and
For
then
sure.
check out Julie's the journal. You got to get the journal.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Thanks, Julie. Thank
Of
you.
course, it's always great to see both of you, Charlie and Josh. And thanks everybody for jumping on the summit. I'm going to hang around and listen.